But now, when you're out shopping, do you know where the products you're buying have come from, who made them, whether they are even safe? Well, you got a quick snapshot of it there. The Consumer Goods Forum that tries to tackle issues like these by trying to implement a global quality level to safeguard human rights and to maintain safety standards.
Yeah, the group represents over 400 retailers and manufacturers, operates in 70 countries around the world, and of course the forum's aim is to benefit shoppers and consumers without hindering competition.
Well, Peter Freedman is the Managing Director of the Consumer Goods Forum. He joins us now. Peter, nice to see you. Welcome to Business Live. We've touched a little bit there on what it is that you do, but just to explain in very practical levels, how does it work? How does the forum work?
Well, as you were saying, we bring together all of these companies, multinationals and quite small regional companies, and we focus basically on what we call positive change. So that's things that consumers notice, you as a shopper, you as a consumer of a product. And we try and make sure that the supply chain in every respect is sustainable. We also work on things like health and wellness. So we're worried about people's health and we're trying to work and help multinationals again work together to help people live healthier lives.
I'm just wondering, because I was going to ask you, is it difficult dealing in 70 countries, trying to get them all on a sort of an even keel, on an even platform, and dealing with 70 different cultures and societies? But you just throw another element in, which makes me want to ask, is it difficult when you're dealing with all those different sizes, from the small to the big? Sometimes the big can say it's easy for us to change, the small say we don't have the money, or vice versa, right? That's some challenge.
It is tricky, and we're led by a board. So I have a board. Most companies have boards of 10 or 15 people. I have a board of 50 people, and each of them is a chief executive. So some of them are big companies, very big companies like Walmart and Unilever and Procter & Gamble and L'Oreal and so on, and others are really much smaller companies, like quite small retailers from individual companies. So in that board, you get the leadership. First of all, you get the leadership from the chief executive, which is really important. Often the chief executives want to do more good in the world than some of the folk lower down. So it's really important to have the CEOs around the table. And then you do get the smaller companies and the bigger companies blended together. And you know what? If the bigger companies lead because they have more capabilities, that's just great. We want to drive positive change. So.
Well, on that issue aside, I mean, just looking at some of the statistics here, the forum combined sales of the organisations you work with of €2.5 trillion, employing nearly 10 million people. I mean, how do you affect change on that sort of scale? I imagine you have to work with each individual organisation to then come to a sum of change. But how, on a day-to-day basis, do you actually get the biggest firms to listen to what you're saying?
You know, they typically listen because they know it's the right thing to do. Right. When you have a conversation that's running a little bit difficult, you're not quite sure what to do, you just say, what would the consumer want you to do? And it sounds very trite, very hokey, but actually it's pretty damned obvious.
How does that relate to their bottom line, though? Because I imagine with all the best will in the world, organisations say we want to provide the best thing for our customers, but if it's going to affect their profits or the return to shareholders or where they can operate or what standards the costs that they would need to implement to get something up to a new standard, that must be a tough decision.
It is for some. For some areas like safe food, I mean, we all want safe food, we know when it's not safe, that's very easy. No question, you will spend whatever it takes to drive safe food. Some of the questions that may be a bit more long-term, so, is it good to get rid of the refrigerants in the atmosphere that harm the ozone layer? Of course, it's a good thing to do in the long term. But then all you need is you need a chief executive who says, I know it's the right thing to do. And actually, there are a lot of those. So it's not that hard.
Talking about the right thing to do, I want to talk one issue that you guys have taken on board is food waste. It's a story that we talk a lot about on our programs. What is it? Food waste, I think, is $750 billion annually. That's what it costs the global economy. Yep. Your members are part of that picture. They waste food. But they have signed up, right, to cutting that by half still a long way, 2025. Why only half? I'm just wondering, is that optimistic enough?
Well, the trouble is you're always going to have some waste. So setting a goal of 50% reduction is pretty stretching. Actually, interestingly, some of the retailers here in the UK are some of the best performers in the world. So they want to spread the word and help others do better. But yes, we're going to reduce 50% of the waste in our own supply chains, but we're also signing up to some of the UN goals, which are to reduce where the waste is most, which is in all of our homes. So we're going to help there.
Okay.
Well, Peter, short and sweet, but we really appreciate your time. Good luck with all of that. And I know you've got your yearly gathering, the forum in
We have
Cape Town.
a summit in Cape Town.
Cape Town, I said Joburg.
Not Johannesburg,
Cape
but
Town, wonderful Cape Town.
So fantastic.
Get some work done, though, because it's a beautiful place, as you know, right?
It is. Not in June.
Peter Freedman, that's why you're holding it in June.
Peter, nice to see you. Thanks very much.